Well, first I'd like to just introduce who the Anti is. We are an elite ServiceNow implementation partner that is 100% focused on employee workflows. Our mission is to help improve your employee experience and power it with the ServiceNow platform. We've been able to do that by building a team that's incredibly talented and experienced in HR specifically. Our team is made up of HR technology experts, HR practitioners, and we've partnered them with team members that have ServiceNow expertise, so who have worked on the platform with different products like ITSM, CSM, etc. And we've blended that experience together to help support our customers in getting the most out of HR service delivery with ServiceNow. Our spotlight customer today is Edwards Lifesciences. They are a global life sciences company that manufactures heart valves. They're proudly serve patients in over 100 countries, across the globe, and they have over 18,000 employees and are continuing to grow. They're a very large company, very complex workflows, but they've kept their patient experience at the center of everything that they do. Their HR operations team has a mission to improve and optimize their current processes, technology, so that they can really focus their HR team on improving the employee experience, so they in turn can focus on the patient experience. We actually met Edwards as a customer right here at HR Tech last year. Actually, my team did. And while my team was meeting them, my mother-in-law was actually receiving a TAVR, or transaortic valve replacement, that was manufactured by Edwards Lifesciences. So as soon as I realized that we had an opportunity to work with this incredible team, I asked if I could be put on their team. We've been working with Edwards for over a year now and helping them with this optimization problem statement and really focusing in on how we can improve the employee experience. We've done over 300 implementations with ServiceNow HRSD and engagements supporting our customers. And in doing those 300 plus engagements, we've found that the best strategy is to think big, start small, and move fast. And we followed ServiceNow's HRSD maturity model from a framework perspective. So if any of you have implemented ServiceNow, it's an incredible platform. It can do a lot of things. It's very powerful. It can solve big problems. It can also be overwhelming. So it helps to think through what your strategy is. What are those employee experience problems or challenges that you're trying to solve? And then start small and build a foundation. We typically guide our customers through this maturity model by starting first with their low-tech and manual processes. So what things are your teams doing that could possibly be automated so that you can start to support your employees? Things like basic case intake, allowing employees to ask a question and making sure that that question is resolved very quickly so they can get the information they need and move on to their day job, right? Support your customers. We typically start and help them manage the interactions with their employees. So although they're starting to automate those low-tech and manual processes, they're starting to build relationships with their employees and setting them up for self-service with Employee Center Pro. Employee Center is an employee portal, employee service portal where they can go to find their needs. And we start by working with our teams to identify who your employees are. What are their needs? What are they coming to HR for? We can target those employee needs and push through content management and help support them. So when they come to a portal, they're seeing things that are relevant to them as an employee. So for Edwards Manufacturing, Edwards Lifesciences, they have employees that are manufacturing, that are sales-oriented, that are corporate. Each of those types of employees has different needs. And so we work to personalize that solution with them. It's important to build that foundation first before starting with some of the more complex employee journeys, like onboarding. Those are typically supported by multiple departments, not just HR, but also IT. You think of needing access, requesting a laptop, but we want to create an employee journey and employee experience that gets their employees productive starting from day one. So again, kind of a crawl, walk, run mentality, which I'm sure you guys have heard of before. but it is very important in helping our customers realize the power of the ServiceNow platform. So we took this approach with Edwards Lifesciences, and we started with them last year, and we focused first on delivering a patient experience service. At Edwards, one of their highlights of the year is they bring in patients from across the world to their Irvine campus to meet employees. So patients have the opportunity to actually meet the team that hand-sewed their heart valve. From an employee perspective, it's an incredible way to get right to the mission and to be part of what they're building. It brings them face-to-face with the patients that they're serving every day. So our first task was to create an automated volunteer form so that employees could sign up to help support that day. We went live with that back in January, and from there, we helped them get back to out of the box with their HR catalog. They had a highly customized HR service catalog within ServiceNow, and it was preventing them from adding on new services to continue to meet the needs of their employees. So we took them back to out of the box, undid some of the customizations, and then we started enhancing and expanding that service catalog so they could continue to meet their employees' needs. From there, we also started working on talent mobility. So as a global life sciences corporation, they've got talent across the globe. It's extremely important that they can upskill their team members and allow them to transition globally. It's a very complex experience. As you can imagine, there are a lot of manual tasks, and their talent mobility team needed a way to have visibility into that employee journey, to automate some of those standard tasks, but also provide higher touch experiences. So you can think of things like having to go through immigration status or receive citizenship in a new country. That could be extremely overwhelming. So they wanted to have a high touch experience to make sure that the employee knew where they were in that process. From there, we started working with Edwards on a global onboarding and offboarding strategy. Part of their think big, start small, and move fast was to put a program approach to that before jumping into an implementation. So we helped the Edwards HR team identify each of the different variants with their onboarding and offboarding processes. As you can imagine, in certain regions, they have different ways of doing things. So onboarding an employee in Costa Rica might look different from onboarding an employee in Irvine, California. So it was important that we helped them put together a comprehensive strategy for how to automate those processes across the globe. We started by building a business case, putting together a program approach, and that consisted of change management risks and also program risks. Part of doing a large global implementation is identifying what are those risks that you're going to run into and creating mitigation plans up front. Our next step with that is to start them with onboarding and offboarding, and we have that coming up next year. In parallel, in order to lay the foundation, we need to provide them with an employee service portal that can meet their needs. So starting with pre-hire through the onboarding process and moving into after day one. So we started with them by taking a step back and looking at their current service portal and working with them on how to bring HR and IT together into the same portal so that it's a unified experience for the employee. They can log into the Employee Center Pro, and it doesn't matter what department is supporting them. They're getting service right at their fingertips. Content is personalized to them. So we help them by building out a taxonomy that represents the Edwards employee. It doesn't start with HR, IT, it's not departmental focused, but it's truly employee focused. Our next steps are to actually implement and upgrade their Employee Center Pro, and then help them with onboarding and offboarding. We're going to work on a global standard as their phase one, starting with US and Canada as their pilot program, before adding in the regional variants across the globe. So in terms of implementing, again, we've done several engagements with customers, and we've always come back to key lessons learned. Every time our team does an engagement, we share the lessons learned with our customers internally so that we can improve as a consulting team. And we've found these are almost always at the root of it. So number one, ensure that your employee is front and center. Edwards took that approach by looking at the different personas that they support and understanding that the needs of, again, a manufacturing employee might be different than the needs of a corporate team member. Configuration over customization. This one sounds common sense, but it's so easy to customize the ServiceNow platform, and you might miss out on future releases and enhancements. So we highly encourage you to start with configuration, try and keep it out of the box, and we can help you in tailoring your processes and enabling ServiceNow to support those processes. Also consider the strategic landscape of your organization. So not just your HR department, but what are truly the strategic goals of your organization. So again, for Edwards, big focus is on growing and ensuring that they can continue to grow. I think when I showed the slide earlier, it said 18,000 employees. They've actually already grown to 19,000 employees just within a couple of months. Start simple and scale. It's, again, very easy to get excited about the more complex items like onboarding, skills management. Some of these things are really exciting and they're at the top of probably your problem statements and your needs. Still encourage you to take it slow, start simple, but move fast from there. Also, involve the team who's ultimately going to perform the work in your design process. So if you're implementing onboarding, for example, who's the talent acquisition team that you're working with? Who are the HR managers that are involved in the hiring process? They have the needs of the employees at the heart, and if they're the ones that are ultimately going to be performing the work, ensure that you're including them in the design so they have a voice, and you can also start to build your champion network for adoption. Any of these stick out to you guys? Anything that you wouldn't have expected? They seem pretty simple, right? They are very simple, but they can be very challenging. We've actually taken a lot of those principles that we've shared with our team, and we've put together a pretty comprehensive guide to how to get the most out of ServiceNow. If you'd like to scan the QR code, we can send you guys the ebook, but it does help. Again, we have pulled together a lot of our team's knowledge and lessons learned direct from our customers within that ebook.